The stars were silent that night. Earth's skies looked calm, but far beyond, in the dark ocean of space, something had already begun. No one expected the first contact to be a war. People thought aliens would arrive in peace, maybe to share knowledge or technology. But when the strange lights appeared over the Pacific Ocean, peace was the last thing they brought. Commander Rian Hale stood on the observation deck of the Space Defense Station Orion. His eyes were fixed on the monitors. At first he thought it was just another meteor shower. But as the lights moved in perfect formation, his heart began to race. "They're not meteors," he whispered. "They're ships." Moments later, the first message came through, not in sound, but as a wave inside every human mind. A strange vibration, like a thought that didn't belong to them. It wasn't words, just a feeling. Cold. Watching. Testing. Panic spread across Earth. Every country went on alert. The alien ships, black and smooth like shadows, entered Earth's atmosphere. They didn't shoot. They didn't speak. They simply hovered, silent and waiting. For 3 days, humans tried to make contact. Every signal went unanswered. Then on the 4th day, the ships began to move. The first attack was on the lunar base. In one flash, 1,000 lives were gone. Then they destroyed the satellites. Earth went blind in space within hours. The world's leaders met in hidden bunkers, but even they could not agree on what to do. Commander Rian felt helpless watching the chaos. But then came the order. All fleets to launch. Engage only if fired upon. No one knew who the enemy was or what they wanted. Still, humans prepared for war. When the battle began, it wasn't like any war before. Lasers and missiles passed through alien ships as if they were made of smoke. The aliens didn't fight with weapons. They used energy waves that shut down entire ships instantly. Whole fleets drifted silent in space. Rian's ship, Aegis, was one of the last still moving. His crew fought bravely, but they were losing fast. Then, in the middle of the chaos, one alien ship didn't attack. It just stopped, and then it sent a message, not through the radio, not through light or sound. It spoke directly into their minds. Rian froze as a soft voice filled his head. "Humans, stop fighting. You cannot win. We do not want your world. We want you." Before he could answer, a bright beam of light surrounded the ship. The crew screamed as everything faded to white. When Rian opened his eyes again, he was no longer on Aegis. He was standing on a strange metal floor that glowed softly under his boots. The air was warm, heavy, and filled with a low humming sound. Ahead of him stood a figure, tall, slender, with skin that shimmered like blue light. Her eyes were golden, calm, and intelligent. She looked both beautiful and terrifying. Rian's mind filled with questions, but before he could speak, she smiled. He didn't move his lips. He didn't say anything. But she still looked at him, her golden eyes glowing brighter. "Careful, human," she said softly, her voice echoing inside his head. "I can hear your thoughts." Rian felt his breath stop. How could she know? How could she hear the words he hadn't spoken? She took a step closer. "You humans think loudly," she said with a calm smile. "You hide behind words, but your minds shout the truth." Rian tried to stay strong. "What do you want from us?" he asked. The alien tilted her head. "Not war," she said. "But you started one." "I was defending my people," Rian replied. Her eyes softened for a moment. "Perhaps. But you do not understand. The war you fight is not with us. It is with what you have become." Rian didn't understand her words. The lights around them began to pulse. Suddenly visions flashed in his mind. Cities burning, oceans blackened, and machines building machines with no humans left to guide them. He fell to his knees, clutching his head. "Stop, what is this?" "It is your future," she said. "The one your kind is creating." Then everything went dark. When Rian woke, he was back in his ship. His crew was unconscious but alive. The alien ships were gone. The war was over, or maybe just paused. He didn't tell anyone about the voice, about the alien woman who could hear thoughts. But every time he closed his eyes, he could still hear her whisper, soft, distant, and warning. "Careful, human. I can hear everything." When Commander Rian Hale opened his eyes, the bridge of his ship was quiet. The alarms were off, the lights were dim, and the stars outside looked calm again. But something inside him had changed. His crew began to wake one by one, confused and scared. "What happened?" his pilot asked weakly. Rian didn't answer. He didn't know. The last thing he remembered was her. That alien woman, Blue skin, golden eyes, voice like wind in his mind. She said she could hear thoughts. And she wasn't lying. The ship's systems were coming back online. The screens flickered, showing Earth far below. It looked peaceful, but Rian knew it wasn't. The war might have stopped, but it wasn't over. Something told him that the aliens had not left, they were just watching. He walked toward the command console, feeling a faint echo in his mind. It was like someone whispering from far away. Not words, just a feeling. Familiar, calm, watching him. He whispered to himself, "Are you still there?" And then for a moment the lights flickered. A soft voice answered inside his head. "Yes, human, I am here." Rian froze. "Who are you?" "You already know," she replied gently. "You saw me." He looked around, but no one else seemed to hear her. His crew continued working, unaware. "You're inside my mind," he said quietly. "Only because you opened it," she said. "When you looked at me, you stopped fighting. You wanted to understand. That was the moment your mind became visible to me." Rian sat down, his heart beating faster. "What do you want from me?" "To help you see what your world cannot." The screens on the ship began to change. They flickered, showing strange symbols, then images. Cities glowing with strange energy. Machines digging deep into Earth. Oceans turning silver under alien light. "What is this?" he asked. "It is what happens when minds stop listening. When fear becomes stronger than thought." The crew looked up, confused by the images flashing across their screens. "Commander, what's going on?" The pilot shouted. "Just a system error," Rian lied. "Keep working." Inside, though, he was shaken. He felt as if she was showing him something important, something humans had ignored for too long. Then he heard her again. "You humans speak of freedom, yet you let machines rule your lives. You build weapons, not peace. You destroy, not create." Rian clenched his fists. "You think we wanted this war?" "No," she said softly. "But you prepared for it. You feared what you didn't understand. That fear feeds the darkness that watches you now." "Darkness?" Rian asked. "What darkness?" There was silence for a long time. Then her voice came back, lower this time. "There are things in the void even we do not control. We came to stop them. But your war made it worse." Rian felt cold. "You mean there's something worse than your kind?" "We are not your enemy," she whispered. "We are a barrier. But now the barrier is breaking." Suddenly alarms began to beep again. The radar showed a new signal. A massive object moving fast toward Earth's orbit. "Is that one of yours?" Rian demanded. There was no answer. Only silence. He turned to his crew. "All systems ready. Prepare to intercept." The object grew larger on the screen. It wasn't a ship, it was something else. A sphere blacker than space itself, absorbing light. "Commander," the pilot whispered. "That thing, it's swallowing the stars." Rian stared. The air on the ship felt heavier, as if gravity itself was bending. The alien woman's voice came back faint, almost like a memory. "It's too soon. They've found you." "Who?" Rian shouted. "Who found us?" "The ones who feed on thought," she said. "The ones who erase minds." The ship shook violently. Lights went out. Rian shouted for damage control, but everything was failing. He saw images flashing in his head, human cities, alien ships, and a dark storm covering both worlds. Then he saw her again, standing in front of him, glowing softly in the darkness. "Come with me," she said. "If you want your kind to survive." Before he could speak, the ship dissolved around him like smoke. The stars disappeared. The noise stopped, and Rian found himself floating in a vast silver space, empty and silent between worlds. Commander Rian floated in the endless silver space. There was no sound, no air, no gravity, only light that shimmered around him like water. He tried to move, but his body felt weightless, unreal. "Where am I?" he whispered. The alien woman appeared again, standing a few steps away. Her body glowed faintly, her silver hair drifting as if moved by invisible waves. Her golden eyes met his, calm but filled with sorrow. "You are between worlds," she said softly. "Between thought and reality." Rian tried to steady his voice. "You said you could hear my thoughts. Are you reading my mind now?" She smiled gently. "No, human, your mind is shouting on its own." He frowned. "What do you mean?" "Fear," she said. "It echoes. Every human fear creates sound here. Every thought leaves a mark. This place, this space between, is made of what your kind thinks and feels." Rian looked around, and suddenly, shapes began to form in the silver light. Cities, faces, memories. He saw Earth's oceans, his childhood home, even his ship. They flickered like ghosts, built from thought alone. He reached out to touch one of the images, but it vanished. "This can't be real," he said. "It is as real as your mind allows," she replied. He turned to her. "You brought me here, why?" The alien woman walked closer. Her steps made no sound. "Because you listened," she said. "You tried to understand instead of fight." "That makes you different." "Different?" Rian asked. "I'm just a soldier." Her golden eyes glowed brighter. "No, human. You are a bridge." Before he could ask what she meant, the light around them began to tremble. The silver sky rippled like disturbed water. Rian felt something cold move through him, like ice crawling inside his mind. "What's happening?" he shouted. "They found us," she said, her voice suddenly sharp. "The echo feeders. They live off thought energy. They come when fear is strong." The light turned darker, shadows spreading across the space. Shapes began to appear. Tall, thin creatures made of black mist with eyes like burning coals. They didn't walk. They slid through the air, whispering sounds that weren't words but emotions. Fear, anger, pain. Rian's heart pounded. "Those things. They're alive?" "They are what happens when a mind dies in fear," she said. "They feed on emotion." Your war called to them. The creatures surrounded them, moving closer. The alien woman raised her hand, and golden energy flowed from her palm, forming a protective barrier. "Stay behind me," she said. Rian watched as her light pushed the creatures back, but they didn't stop. They grew stronger, more solid, feeding on the fear that filled the air. He felt something pull inside his chest, like his thoughts were being dragged away. He saw flashes again, Earth burning, his crew screaming, and her voice crying out in his head. "Focus, human," she shouted. "Don't let them take your mind." Rian tried to fight it. He forced himself to think of calm things, the sea, the stars, the sound of rain. Slowly, the cold feeling began to fade. The alien woman turned to him, her expression fierce. "You are stronger than I thought. What are they?" Rian gasped. "Remnants," she said. "Echoes of thought. When fear spreads through minds, these are born. They are not alive, but they destroy all that is. Can you stop them?" "Not alone," she whispered. The silver world began to break apart. Cracks of black light split through the air. The woman looked at Rian and took his hand. Her touch was warm, electric. "Our minds must connect," she said quickly. "If we merge, we can fight them together." Rian hesitated. "Merge? What happens if I let you in?" "You will see as I see," she said. "And I will see as you do." "But there is no other way." He looked at the dark creatures closing in. Their whispers were louder now, voices of lost humans and aliens screaming through eternity. He nodded. "Do it." The alien's eyes glowed like the sun. She reached forward and touched his forehead. A burst of light exploded around them. Rian felt everything, his memories, his fears, his thoughts, all flooding outward, merging with hers. He saw her world, a vast blue planet of light, cities made of sound, and beings who spoke through emotion. He felt their pain, their struggle to survive against the same dark force. Then he felt her emotions, kindness, sadness, and something more. Connection, trust. The dark creatures screamed as the golden light expanded, burning through them like fire. The space between worlds trembled, then shattered like glass. When the light faded, Rian found himself falling, down through clouds of silver dust toward something bright below. He heard her voice one last time before everything went white. "Do not forget what you saw, human. The war outside is nothing compared to the one inside your mind." And then, silence. Commander Rian Hale woke with a sharp breath. He was lying on the cold floor of his ship. The hum of the engines was gone. Everything was quiet except for a faint buzzing in his ears. His body ached, but his mind felt different. He looked around. The crew was still unconscious. Control panels blinked softly, and outside the window, Earth floated in silence. He tried to stand, but a wave of dizziness hit him. Then he heard it. A soft voice. Inside his head. "You are safe." For now, Rian froze. "You again. Our minds are joined," she said. "You let me in. Now we share what we are." He touched his forehead, remembering the light, the connection, the way their memories had mixed together. "What did you do to me?" he asked. "I saved you," she replied calmly. "And now you can hear me even when I'm not here." He walked toward the main window, staring at the planet below. Why me? Why connect with a human? There was a pause. Then her voice grew softer. Because you are different. You think beyond orders. You feel beyond war. You listened when no one else did. Rian didn't know how to respond. He had been trained to fight, to follow logic, to lead soldiers, not to listen to voices inside his mind. But there was something comforting about her presence. Even in silence, he could feel her emotions. Calm, gentle, and endlessly sad. He whispered, "Where are you now?" "Far," she answered, "but not gone. Our thoughts travel faster than light. I am with my people. We are preparing for what comes next. What comes next? The darkness is moving closer," she said. "It feeds on human fear. Every panic, every violent thought gives it power. The war you started has become its doorway." Rian looked down at Earth. He could almost feel the fear spreading. News reports, military alerts, governments blaming each other. Humanity was terrified, and that fear was growing stronger. "What can I do?" he asked. "You must quiet their fear," she said. "You must make them listen before it's too late." Rian laughed bitterly. "You don't understand humans. We don't just listen, we argue, we fight, we destroy. How am I supposed to make them listen?" "By showing them," she said. "You now carry my sight. You can make them see what I showed you, the truth of what's coming." Before he could ask more, a sudden alarm broke the silence. The radar lit up, a massive signal approaching Earth's orbit. It wasn't an alien ship this time. It was human. The global defense fleet. They had found Aegis. The communication panel flickered to life. A voice came through, stern and cold. "This is Admiral Rian to Commander Hale. You are under arrest. You have violated contact protocol and engaged with an enemy entity. Surrender immediately." Rian's stomach tightened. They thought he was a traitor. He opened the channel. "Admiral, you don't understand. The war isn't what it seems." "Enough," the voice interrupted. "You made contact with the enemy without clearance. You will power down your ship and prepare for boarding." The line went dead. Rian's hands shook. He could already see the bright lights of the approaching ships outside. Inside his mind, the alien woman's voice returned, calm but firm. "They don't trust what they cannot control. You must decide, human. Obey your orders or follow your truth." Rian clenched his fists. "If I resist, they'll destroy the ship." "If you surrender," she whispered, "they will silence what we discovered. And the darkness will come unchallenged." The ship trembled as the fleet surrounded it. Red lights flashed inside the cabin. Rian's crew started waking up, confused and scared. "Commander, what's happening?" Rian didn't answer. He walked slowly to the command seat. His mind was split between two worlds, duty and truth. He closed his eyes and whispered, "Show me what to do." The alien's voice was soft now. "Listen to yourself, Rian. The answer is already inside you." He looked down at his hands and saw faint golden light tracing his skin, just like hers. The connection was still there. Her power was inside him. He took a deep breath and touched the console. The ship's systems flickered back to life. The controls glowed brighter than before. Somehow he could feel the ship now as if it were part of him. "Commander?" his crew shouted. "They're locking weapons on us!" Rian's voice was calm. "Not this time." He pressed his hand on the control panel. The Aegis burst forward in a flash of golden light, faster than any human ship had ever moved. The radar signals behind them vanished as they entered the edge of the atmosphere. The alien's voice whispered inside his head again, almost like a heartbeat. "You see now, human. We are stronger together." Rian looked at the stars ahead, determination in his eyes. He didn't know where he was going, but he knew one thing for certain. The real war had just begun. The ship Aegis drifted through the upper atmosphere, hidden in clouds and silence. Commander Rian Hale sat in the captain's seat, staring at the blue curve of Earth below. He could feel the hum of the ship not just under his hands, but inside his mind. Every control, every pulse of energy, felt connected to him now. Since he merged with the alien's mind, he was no longer the same man. Her voice echoed softly inside him. "They will call you a traitor, human, but remember, truth is never safe." Rian sighed. "I didn't ask for this. I just wanted to stop a war. And now you can," she whispered. "But only if you trust what you have become." He looked down at his reflection in the glass. His eyes glowed faintly gold. He wasn't sure if that made him afraid or proud. Outside, the earth looked peaceful, but Rian could feel something dark spreading beneath that calm. It was like a faint vibration crawling across the edge of his thoughts, a shadow that wasn't physical but alive. He whispered, "It's here, isn't it? The darkness you warned me about." The alien's voice grew quieter, almost like a whisper carried by wind. "Yes, it has touched your world. It hides inside fear, inside anger. Every human thought gives it more strength." Rian stood and walked to the window. He saw the cities far below, bright dots of light against night. But when he focused, the lights flickered strangely as if something invisible moved through them. "Show me," he said. And suddenly, he saw, not with his eyes, but with her sight. He saw people on Earth arguing, fighting, panicking. He saw soldiers aiming weapons, leaders shouting in fear. And above them all, invisible to human eyes, the shadows moved, whispering into their minds, feeding on every hateful thought. Rian stepped back, breathing hard. "They're already here." "Yes," she said. "They entered through your war. Fear opened the way, and now they will not stop until silence covers your world." Rian clenched his fists. "Then I'll stop them." "Not alone," she said softly. "You are the bridge, but your people must see through your eyes." He hesitated. "How?" Before she could answer, a loud alarm broke the silence. The radar showed multiple contacts, human ships. The defense fleet had found them again. The comms channel buzzed to life. "Commander Rian Hale, this is Admiral Wren. Power down your engines. You are ordered to surrender." Rian closed his eyes. "If I don't, then we will open fire." He looked at the glowing console under his hand. He could feel the ship almost listening to him, waiting for his choice. Inside his head, the alien's voice came again. "You cannot fight your own kind, human, but you can make them see." "How?" "Through thought. I can guide you." "Let me reach them." Rian nodded slowly. "Do it." He felt warmth spread through his mind, and then silence. The ship's lights dimmed, and a golden pulse radiated from it, expanding outward like ripples on water. Across the human fleet, systems flickered. Screens went black, then filled with light and visions. Every soldier, every pilot saw what Rian saw. Cities drowning in darkness, people consumed by fear. Shadows feeding on their thoughts. They saw the alien woman too, calm, glowing, not as an enemy but as a being of light. Her voice filled every mind. "Humans, the enemy is not us. The war you fight gives birth to something far worse. You must stop feeding it," the captains shouted in confusion. Pilots froze. Some cried. For the first time since the war began, the battlefield went quiet. But the silence didn't last. Something black appeared in the distance. Not a ship, not even matter. It was a wound in space growing fast. The echo feeders were coming. Rian gripped the console. "They've found us again." "Yes," she said. "And this time they come for your world." The blackness spread, stretching toward Earth like a storm. Lightning made of darkness crackled across the sky. The human ships began to lose control, their systems failing. Rian shouted, "We need to get everyone out of orbit. Now." The alien's voice was calm, steady. "It is too late for retreat. You must hold them here. You are the only mind they cannot consume." Rian's chest tightened. "You mean I'm bait?" "You are the shield," she corrected softly. "But only if you believe." He stared at the black storm, his hands shaking. Fear crept up his spine, but deep inside he felt something stronger. Her presence, steady and warm like sunlight in the dark. He closed his eyes. "All right, let's end this." The golden light inside the ship flared again. Energy flowed through him like fire. He felt the alien strength merging with his, their minds becoming one heartbeat. Outside, the Aegis glowed like a small sun against the void. The shadows roared, crashing toward him. Rian opened his eyes. They glowed brighter than ever. He whispered, "You want my thoughts? Come and take them." And the storm struck. The ship vanished inside the explosion of light and shadow. There was no sound. No light, no sky. Only blackness stretching forever. Commander Rian Hale floated inside it. Or maybe he was falling. He couldn't tell anymore. His ship, his crew, everything had vanished. The only thing that remained was the echo of his heartbeat and the voice inside his mind. "Rian, can you hear me?" It was her, the alien woman. Her voice was faint now, distant like a fading signal. "I'm here," he said, though his lips didn't move. "Where are we?" Inside the storm, she replied. This is the realm of the echo feeders. They do not live as you do. They exist inside thought. You entered their world when you challenged them. Rian looked around, but the darkness was alive. It shifted and breathed, whispering his name in 100 voices. Every shadow looked like a memory, twisted, broken. He saw flashes of his past. His father's voice, the faces of his soldiers, the war that started everything. Each image came with pain. They're showing me my fears, he said quietly. Yes, she answered. That is how they feed. They use memories to break the mind from within. Rian tried to focus. Then how do we fight something that isn't real? There was silence for a moment, then her voice came again. Softer, closer now. You cannot destroy shadows, human. You can only shine brighter light. He didn't understand at first. But then, deep within the darkness, a faint golden spark appeared. It flickered like a candle flame, weak but steady. He moved toward it, each step heavy as if the air itself tried to hold him back. The whispers grew louder, angrier. The shadows took form. Faces of the dead, voices of guilt, every regret he had ever buried. You failed them, one voice hissed. You caused the war, said another. You will destroy them all. Rian covered his ears, shouting, No, you don't know me. The golden spark flickered again, and he felt her presence. They only use what you believe, she said gently. If you feed fear, they grow. If you feed truth, they fade. He took a deep breath. Then I'll stop believing their lies. He focused on the light, on her face, on her golden eyes, on the warmth he had felt when their minds first joined. The shadows screamed, twisting and shrinking away. The spark grew brighter until it became a beam of golden fire stretching through the void. Rian felt strength returning to him, not from weapons or machines, but from within. He spoke softly. You hear me? You can't take my thoughts. They're mine. The darkness shuddered. Cracks of light split through the black sky. The whispers turned to screams. The alien woman appeared before him again, radiant and calm, her form glowing stronger than before. Good, she said. Now, together. She reached out, and when their hands met, a wave of light burst through the darkness. The shadows around them burned, revealing shapes within. Huge, formless creatures made of pure fear. They writhed and roared, trying to escape the light. Rian shouted, What are they? The remains of lost minds, she said. Souls devoured by fear, human and alien alike. The more fear your world creates, the more of these are born. Rian's heart ached. Then we made this, she nodded. And only you can end it. He looked at the black storm stretching endlessly around them. How? She smiled faintly. You are the bridge. Every human mind is connected through thought, through hope, through memory. You can reach them. Show them what you see. Rian hesitated. I'm not a savior. I'm just a soldier. Her voice softened. Then be a soldier who fights for something more. He closed his eyes. For a moment he thought of Earth. Not the war, not the fear, but the beauty. The oceans. The children. The small things that made life worth living. He held onto those images until they filled him completely. The light within him exploded outward. It shot through the storm, cutting through the darkness like the sunrise after a long night. The echo feeders screamed, their forms breaking apart as the light spread across the void. Everywhere the golden light touched, the blackness melted. The whispers turned silent. Then slowly he felt himself falling again. But this time the fall was gentle. The alien's voice came softly, almost like a whisper against his heart. You did it, Rian. You found the light. He opened his eyes and saw her standing before him, closer than ever. Her golden eyes shimmered with emotion, but she looked weaker now, her glow fading. What's happening to you? He asked. I used my strength to protect you, she said. The rest must come from you now. Rian shook his head. No, I won't lose you, she smiled sadly. You won't. As long as you remember, I live within your thoughts. The silver light around them began to fade. He reached out to her, but her image was dissolving. Her final words echoed softly in his mind. This is not the end, human. The darkness will return, but so will the light. And with that, she was gone. Rian opened his eyes to find himself back inside the Aegis. The ship's systems were restarting. The Earth was below him again, peaceful and blue. But this time he could sense something different. The fear was quieter. The shadows were gone. He took a deep breath, whispering to himself, maybe that's what she meant. The real war is inside. The ship Aegis drifted down through the clouds. Soft light filled the cockpit as Earth grew larger beneath it. For the first time in weeks, there were no alarms, no enemy ships, no war, only silence, heavy and strange. Commander Rian Hale sat at the controls, staring at the blue curve of the planet. His reflection on the glass looked tired, but his eyes still glowed faintly gold. He touched the window and whispered, "I'm home." The alien woman's voice no longer spoke in his mind. Yet he could still feel her, like a heartbeat hidden inside his thoughts. As Aegis entered the atmosphere, he saw the world below. Cities were still standing. Oceans shimmered. But something was different. The sky looked clear, almost too clear, as if the storm had taken away more than just darkness. He landed the ship at the Global Defense Base near New Geneva. Soldiers surrounded it instantly, weapons ready. He stepped out slowly, raising his hands. The air smelled of smoke and metal. Admiral Wren stood waiting with a dozen officers behind him. "Commander Hale," the admiral said coldly, "you were ordered to surrender. You disappeared instead." Rian looked straight at him. "If I hadn't, none of us would still be here." Wren frowned. "You expect me to believe that?" Rian sighed. "Believe what you want. But the war is over, and the real enemy was never the aliens." The admiral's face hardened. "You made contact with an enemy entity. You attacked our own ships. You've been compromised." Rian stepped forward. "I was changed, yes, but not corrupted. I saw the truth, why they were protecting us." "Protecting us?" Wren's voice rose. "They destroyed half our fleet." "They defended themselves," Rian said quietly. "We fired first." The room fell silent. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Wren said, "Take him to isolation." 2 guards moved forward. Rian didn't resist. He knew words alone couldn't prove what he had seen. As they walked him down the long corridor, his mind echoed with fragments of the alien's voice. "You are the bridge," he whispered. "Then maybe this is where the bridge begins." Inside the cell, metal walls surrounded him. No windows, only dim light. He sat down and closed his eyes. That was when he felt it. A pulse in his mind, faint but familiar. Not her voice this time, but something deeper. The golden glow returned behind his eyelids. Images filled his head. Soldiers arguing outside. Scientists studying the Aegis. The admiral talking about mind infection. They didn't trust him. They wanted to erase what was inside him. Rian opened his eyes, breathing hard. He could hear them through thoughts, not walls. He whispered, "She was right. Our minds are louder than we think." A sound came from the corner and a soft mechanical hum. The door opened and a young scientist stepped in, holding a tablet. Her eyes were wide, curious. "Commander Hale?" she asked softly. He nodded. "My name is Dr. Lyra Sen," she said. "I studied the readings from your ship. The energy around you, it's not human. But it isn't dangerous." Rian looked up. "You believe me?" She hesitated. "I believe something happened out there, and I believe you saved us." Relief passed through him, but only for a moment. He could feel the faint shadow again, somewhere far away, a tremor in the back of his mind. "It's not gone," he said quietly. Lyra frowned. "What isn't?" "The darkness," he whispered. "It feeds on fear. It's still here, smaller, hidden, waiting." Lyra's face turned pale. "If that's true, what do we do?" Rian looked at her calmly. "We prepare, not with weapons, with minds." She didn't understand yet, but she nodded. "I'll help you. Whatever this is, I'll help." Before she left, she said quietly, "You're not alone, Commander." When the door closed, Rian sat in silence. He reached inside his thoughts and found that faint echo again. The warmth, the light she left behind. He spoke softly into the quiet air. "I don't know if you can still hear me, but I'll keep fighting, for them, for all of us." For a moment he thought he heard her voice again, distant but clear. "You already are." The sound faded, but his chest felt lighter. He looked at the cell door, then at his hands. The faint golden light still moved beneath his skin. Outside, thunder rolled across the sky, though there were no clouds. Far above Earth, something shimmered briefly, a faint pulse of black, watching, waiting. Rian stared upward, his voice barely a whisper. It's not over yet. The night sky over Earth was calm again, but Commander Rian Hale knew the calm never lasted. In the quiet, he could still feel something. A pulse deep inside his mind, faint and slow, like the last heartbeat of a sleeping storm. Days had passed since his return. The world was rebuilding. The governments announced that the war was officially over. People called him a hero, but also a liar. Some said he was infected. Rian didn't care anymore. He only cared that the voices had stopped, almost all of them. He sat inside a quiet lab beneath the New Geneva base. Beside him stood Dr. Lyra Sen, the only person who still believed him. She was checking energy readings around his body. The same golden light still pulsed beneath his skin, but it was fading. It's like the power is going to sleep, she said softly. Rian nodded. Maybe it's waiting. For what? He looked at her and said quietly, for them to come back. Outside the lab, the world was changing fast. The alien ships had vanished into deep space, but humans were restless. Some wanted to find them again. Others wanted to build weapons just in case. Fear was returning, little by little. Rian could feel it. It whispered at the edges of his thoughts like a cold wind. He looked at Lyra. If fear grows again, the darkness will return. We need to stop it before it wakes. Lyra hesitated. How do we stop human fear, Commander? Rian smiled faintly. We don't stop it. We understand it. He closed his eyes and focused. Deep inside, he tried to reach the voice he once knew, the one that had guided him through the storm. For a long moment, there was nothing. Only silence. Then a soft warmth spread through his mind. You still call for me. His heart jumped. You're alive. Not alive as you understand it, she said gently, but I am still here when within you. Within all who listened. Lyra watched as Rian's eyes glowed faintly gold again. Is it her? She whispered. He nodded. She never left. The alien's voice continued, calm but urgent. The darkness is not gone. It sleeps beneath thought. If humans fall back into fear, it will rise again. You must unite both our kinds or neither will survive next time. Rian's throat tightened. They don't trust me. They don't trust anyone who's different. Then show them what trust looks like, she said. You were chosen not for strength, but for heart. The light around Rian grew stronger, filling the lab with a soft golden glow. Machines flickered, showing strange symbols neither he nor Lyra could understand. She stepped closer. What's happening? She's showing me something, Rian said quietly. Images appeared in his mind. Humans and aliens standing side by side, sharing thoughts through light, not words. Cities rebuilt with both technologies, children laughing under twin suns, and above them, the void clear again. No shadow, no storm. Lyra watched as tears filled his eyes. What do you see? She asked. A future, he whispered. A possible one. Then the images shifted. The same world burning again, humans turning on each other, fear spreading, darkness rising like smoke. He clenched his fists. Or the other future, the one we create if we forget. The light faded slowly. Silence returned. Rian opened his eyes. She's leaving again. Lyra's voice was small. For good? He smiled softly. No, just further away. The alien's final words echoed faintly in his head. Careful, human. I can still hear your thoughts. Then she was gone. Rian stood quietly, looking up at the ceiling as if he could see through it, into the stars. Lyra placed a hand on his arm. What now? He took a slow breath. Now we teach them. We tell the truth, even if no one believes it. Together they walked out of the lab and into the night air. Above them the sky shimmered with faint golden trails like memories of light left behind. Rian whispered. She said the war was never about power. It was about who we choose to be when someone hears our thoughts. Lyra smiled. Then maybe it's time humans learn to think better. He looked at the horizon and the first glow of dawn rising behind the mountains. And for the first time in a long while, he felt peace. The sun climbed higher, turning the clouds gold. Far above, beyond human sight, something shimmered, a single flash of blue light watching over them. Rian smiled faintly and whispered, Goodbye, and thank you. The light flickered once like a heartbeat in the sky, and then it was gone. Earth was quiet again, but not the same. Because somewhere deep inside the human mind, a new voice had begun to whisper, not in fear, but in understanding.